In this video, we're going to go through the plan of what you need to do when you're coming back from a hamstring injury to stay injury-free as the season goes on. The first thing we're going to do is cover some exercises that you're going to include in your week. I'm going to demonstrate them now, but the most important thing then is how exactly do you fit this into your typical week. So we'll finish with just very briefly going through a typical week in the life of, say, a GA player and how you might put those hamstring exercises into that. It's important that when you return from hamstring injury, you don't stop doing everything. That's a big mistake that people make. They do the rehab, they get back playing, and within 2 or 3 weeks, their hamstring goes again. So you have to change your habits a little bit there. It is important that even when you're back playing, you maintain your hamstring strength, but you can't do that, loads of that on a Monday and then attempt to run really fast on the Tuesday. So for simplicity, I'm going to pick 3 exercises where you have no equipment. There are loads of exercises you could choose, obviously, but I'm picking 3 that you can do practically on the side of a pitch. Let's go through the exercises. The first one is just going to be an isometric hamstring bridge. So say my left leg is the injured leg. Go out to about this position, lift your hips up so your fist gets in underneath your tailbone, lift the other leg off and just hold it there. And in this position, you should feel your hamstring muscle working. Now, you need to be able to hold that for at least 20 seconds. Another one that you can do without any equipment is a simple RDL where the hamstring is lengthening. It's a more hip-based exercise. So slight bend in the knee. After that, don't bend that knee anymore. Pivot through your hips. Push the other leg back to the back wall. Let your hands drop. So a lot of people bend during this, which takes the tension off the hamstring. So don't do that. Slight bend, then that doesn't move anymore. Pivot through here, get your other leg back to the back wall, and you're almost trying to straighten this knee, but it doesn't straighten. But if you do it that way, you actually don't need to have heavy weight. There's enough tension on your hamstring and you'll absolutely feel that working there. And then the third hamstring exercise we're going to include in this might be something you can do in the dressing room, just the height of a bench, or if there's a dugout there and you want to do it there, you can do it there. So again, just say you're working the affected leg, foot relaxed, other leg up, and you're just going up and down like that, pushing down through your heel, drag your heel in towards your hip, and there, and stop when you feel you could do maybe 2 more reps. Again, you should feel the hamstring working hard. It makes a lot of sense to do all of those exercises on both legs because it's injury prevention as much as anything else. So there are your 3 hamstring exercises. Now the important thing of how do you fit that in? So if we just look over here, a lot of people either do nothing at all, which is obviously the worst thing you do, or what some people do is they do hamstring exercises, they're on the pitch, hamstring exercises, they're on the pitch. And it's actually just too much for your hamstring. So your hamstring tightens up and then it goes in a pitch session because it's just been worked way too much. So what we're going to do here is, assuming you do go to the gym, you can go to the gym on the Monday evening, but you're going to do lower body exercises, but you're not going to isolate your hamstring at all. So there are no hamstring exercises in this. Deadlift, squat, all that stuff is fine, but we're not isolating it the way we did in those exercises there. So you have your general gym there. Then you have your pitch session here. The hamstring rehab we've just done, 3 exercises, and you do 2 sets of each of them. So you get that done in the 10 minutes directly after your pitch session. So what that means is you have a full 48 hours recovery before you need to go again. You're not doing any hamstring work here at all. It's 48 hours and you're actually, you might be a little bit tight here from the work in your hamstring, but you've recovered fully so that here you can absolutely sprint and run, do everything you need to do there, and your hamstring feels quite capable. Now, rest day on the Friday, and say you have a match or a training on the Saturday. Again, I would pick your hamstring exercises and I would do 2 sets of it on the Saturday as well, because you're not out in the pitch again. You've got the Sunday off, the Monday off, you're not out in the pitch until the Tuesday. So you actually have a good opportunity to get your work into your hamstring in these positions here. If you feel absolutely fine after 4 or 5 weeks and there's been no setbacks at all and you want to make it an even more minimal approach, you could cut this bit out and just maintain your hamstring rehab post-session on the Tuesday. But that should never really end. That's really something most teams should be doing anyway. I presume that makes sense there. We're not hammering the hamstring on lots of different days. this is how you would fit into your week, and you get to train and keep your hamstring strong and work it sufficiently without making it tight and sore and tired. If you have any questions about your own hamstring injury or you want any help, feel free to comment below and we'll get back to you. Thanks.